Welcome to Historofiles. The Roman legions are one of the most famous military formations in history, synonymous with discipline, power, and victory. However, the armies of Rome were not always organised the same way. It was only after the Marian reforms that the Roman military took on the form we all see as familiar now. The soldiers that made up the rank and file of a legion were the legionaries. A legionary would be a free Roman citizen under the age of 45. When joining the legions, you would sign up for 25 years service. At full strength, a legion would include 5,500 to 6,000 men. This includes officers, clerks, and medical staff. They would be organised into smaller and smaller groups, all the way down to the smallest unit of just 8 men. Rank and the chain of command were clear, and just like in all successful militaries, discipline was of absolute importance. The smallest unit within a legion would be a contubernia. This was a squad of 8 men who would share a tent, mule, millstone, and cooking pot. Next would come a century. A century would be made up of 10 contubernia and be commanded by a centurion. He would be supported by a tesserarius, who would receive 1.5 times the usual salary and be in charge of guard duties. There would also be a signifer, who was the standard bearer, carrying a spear bearing the medals won by the unit. He would also keep track of pay and expenses and receive a double salary. Thirdly, there was the cornican, who was the hornblower. Finally, there would be the second in command of the century, the optio, who was typically responsible for training the rank and file. The next unit up would be a cohort, which would be made up of 6 centuries and a total of 480 men. A cohort would be commanded by the most senior centurion. There would be 10 cohorts in a legion. Now, any mathematicians out there may be thinking that this doesn't make 6,000. And you'd be right. 9 of the 10 cohorts would follow this structure, while the first cohort would be double strength and include only experienced and elite soldiers organised into just 5 centuries. The centurion commanding the first cohort was known as the primus pilus, or first spear, and the man holding this position would be a formidable soldier. A legion would also include a unit of 120 cavalry, called an alle. These horsemen would be used primarily as scouts and messengers. A legion would also have a number of senior officers who were responsible for ensuring the unit was fighting fit and operating efficiently. The commander would be the legate. Legate appointments were typically made by the emperor and would usually be a former tribune and a man of high social rank. He would hold his rank for 3 to 4 years, although sometimes this would be extended to much longer terms. In a region that only had 1 legion, the legate would also be the governor. Second in command would be the tribunus laticlavius, who would be another man of high social class and would be appointed by the emperor or the senate. The highest ranking professional soldier in the legion would be the camp prefect. This would be a long-serving veteran who had been promoted from the centurionate. A hugely respected position, and despite not being of noble blood, they would be third in command of the legion. Each legion would also have 5 military tribunes. They were often career soldiers and were responsible for many of the important administrative tasks required in a legion. Finally, the highest ranking non-commissioned officer would be the aquilifer. There was only 1 in each legion, and this man would be the standard bearer, carrying the famous eagle, and would be a very important and envied position. The next step up the ladder for the aquilifer would be a promotion to centurion. Another important, but often overlooked part of the legion were the noncombatants. These men would be the surgeons, architects, engineers, and craftsmen. Typically, they would earn slightly higher pay than a legionary. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe learned something. If you did, give it a like, share, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. And as always, the references can be found in the description box below. See you next time!